Virginia Wright is probably one of the top 100 collectors in the world. Both she and her husband, Bagley Wright, have amassed a wonderful collection that she has shared throughout the entire state. She is the person who started the Washington Art Consortium, which Western benefits from. We were a founding member of the Washington Art Consortium, and the works that you will see in these galleries were a gift from the Washington Art Consortium and the Safeco Insurance Company. The funding that came from Safeco and the Washington Art Consortium really will go towards conservation and taking care of the works. But the gift from Virginia Wright was funds that would help us renovate and to conserve the Alexander Calder tapestries. And that was wonderful because those tapestries have sort of hung and stretched ever since we got them in the 90s. Were never properly framed, and so we had a conservation workshop working with a conservator, luckily who had just moved to Bellingham, Jeff Brown, and he was willing to work with students in conserving the Calder tapestries. So the students learned a lot, and then in the end we got beautifully framed works, conserved, cleaned, and they will be properly taken care of from now on. Once we got the 100 plus works here to Western, and we were beginning to renovate the galleries, I had to decide what I was going to put in the galleries. And one of the galleries, the South Gallery, already had the Alexander Calder tapestries. So that meant that I could work with the North Gallery, Concert Hall, and the main stage. And so being a curator, you begin to wonder how the works are going to come together. And I decided that one of the things that seemed to be prevalent among the selection that I had originally made was a landscape theme. And so in the North Concert Gallery, when you walk in, you definitely are very much aware of someone like Michael Daly, who is looking at sort of the sea and the sky coming together, or Guy Anderson, who really is very much interested in the swirls of the sea and the swirls of the clouds, or someone like Richard Gilkey, who paints the Skagit Valley, or someone like Alden Mason, who is very much interested in abstraction as a form, but he sort of captured the liveliness of seeds growing in the ground in the Burpee Seas. So the North Concert Hall really is oriented towards landscape as well as cityscape. There are some, or sort of urbanscape, if you will, because I knew that when I moved to the Mainstage Gallery, what I wanted to concentrate on there was that we would focus on sort of the culture that we have in the Northwest. And one of the wonderful things about the Mainstage Galleries is that there are references to dance in William Ingham's two works. There is a color abstraction, an artist who focuses on the brilliant color patterns that we have. There is a 3-panel work by John Koenig, who it really is a poem, a 3-part poem. There are 2 wonderful works, one by Nancy Mee, who is very much interested in the icon of Venus, and then opposite that is a work by Dion Ray, and she shows sort of the Venus of modern day world in this very strong, sexy outfit. Absolutely the zebra. Well, it's this very strong black and white stripes. You know, you don't even see a zebra, but you see the skin of the zebra. And you're just caught up in this whirling black and white motion. Now I would say it's the Steve McClellan, which is right next to the Dion Ray, and it's called Modern Icon. And when you look at it, you can see all sorts of computer-oriented imagery there. So I think he's really caught what sort of modern day world is about, with all of us being totally, our brains even being totally digitized. The North Gallery, I would have to say the Franco Carta. I just really appreciate, even though it's probably the most abstract work there, I really appreciate it because of that very meditative quality that it exudes.